Hello students, we have started the chapter crop production and management. We have started the agricultural practices. So the next practice which we will study is irrigation. The supply of water to crops at different intervals is called as irrigation. All living beings needs water to live. It is important for growth and development of flowers, fruits, seeds of the plants. It is absorbed by the plant roots. Along with water, minerals and fertilizers are also absorbed by the plants. Plants contain nearly about 90% of water. Water is essential because germination of seeds does not take place under dry conditions. Water also protects the crops from both frost and hot air currents. Irrigation time to time and in appropriate frequency is needed. The sources of irrigations are wells, rivers, tube wells, dams, ponds, canals and lakes. Need for irrigation to make the soil soft, due to which plowing of fields can become easier, to provide moisture for germination of seeds, to maintain the moisture of soil for healthy crop growth. And the factors which are affecting irrigation are nature of the crop. That means either it can be a cereal, fodder, vegetable or fruit, nature of the soil, sandy, clayey, loamy, etc. Seasons, winter season, rainy season, dry season, etc. Methods of irrigation. The various traditional ways are moat, pulley system, chain pump, tekli and rahat, the lever system. The water available in wells, lakes and canals is lifted up by different methods in different regions for taking it to the fields. Cattle or human labor is used in these methods. So these methods are cheaper but less efficient. The more various traditional ways are as follows. Pumps are commonly used for lifting waters. Diesel, biogas, electricity and solar energy is used to run these pumps. Modern methods of irrigation. Sprinkler system. This system is more useful on the uneven lands where sufficient water is not available. The perpendicular pipes having rotating nozzles on top are joined to the main pipeline at regular intervals. When water is allowed to flow through the main pipe under pressure with the help of a pump, as you can see in the picture. In this system, water is sprinkled on the roof, on the crops as if it is raining. Sprinkle is very useful for sandy soil. Next is your drip system or drip irrigation. Water is supplied through perforated pipes. Pipes are placed in rows between the plants close to the roots. It is used in fruit orchards, gardens and trees, as you can see in the pictures. Now, advantages and disadvantages of irrigation. Advantages: provide moisture to germinating seeds, facilitates absorption of nutrients by minerals. And disadvantages: excess of water in soil leads to waterlogging. Sometimes it inhibits the process of germination. Next practice is protection from weeds. The undesirable plants are called as weeds. Sometimes you might have seen that there are some other plants in the field other than the main crop. When these undesirable plants can be seen, these are called as weeds. They grow naturally along with the crops. The removal of these weeds is necessary and the process is called as weeding. Weeding is necessary because weeds compete with the main crop plant for water, nutrients, space and light. Thus, they affect the growth of main crop. Some of the examples, as you can see. Disadvantages of weeds. They compete with the crops for available of resources and can be responsible for spreading disease. Provides hideouts of rats and snakes. There are different methods for weeding. by hand using implements, spraying weedicides. So, by hands. It can be done manually by farmers by uprooting or cutting them close to the ground from time to time with the help of khurpi. A seed driller, trowel, harrow, hoe can be also used to uproot weeds. Weeds are also controlled by using certain chemicals called weedicides such as 2,4-D, MCPA, etc. These are sprayed on the standing crops. While spraying the chemicals, farmers should be very careful. They should cover their nose and mouth with the help of a cloth. You can see the two pictures there. Next practice is your harvesting. The cutting of the mature crops is called harvesting. It is an important task. Harvesting manually takes 3 to 4 months for a cereal crops to mature. In India, harvesting is either done manually by sickle or by a machine called harvester. When seeds or grains are separated from the stalk, it is called as threshing and is done by a machine called combine, while harvest and threshes both. Next, the grains or seeds get separated from the chaff and it is called as winnowing. After 3-4 months of hard work, when the golden sight of fields are seen, the heart of farmers get filled with joy and they feel it's time to enjoy and relax. So, in India, different parts, men and women, celebrate some festivals when the crops are harvested, such as Pongal, Baisakhi, Holi, Bihu, etc. Next, the last practice is storage. The crops, grains are to be kept for longer time. They should be safe from moisture, insects, rats and microorganisms. This is known as storage. When the crops are harvested, it contains a lot of moisture. Hence, they are first dried and then stored until they are sold in the markets. And storage of food grains are done in granaries, gunny bags and in silos. Granaries. Dried grains are stored in granaries. These are large metals of earthen pots. Gunny bags. Grains are also stored in gunny bags made of jute. The mouth of the bags are stitched tightly and the bags are placed one above the other in big godowns. In silos, government stores grains in large containers of cylindrical structures called as silos. So these all are the practices. Next we will move further with the animal husbandry. Thank you.